Hi students, and Newland, the next attempt to classify elements was made by Mendeleev. Mendeleev tried to classify elements on the basis of their atomic weights and chemical properties. So let's proceed and learn about Mendeleev's periodic table in this chapter. The next classification of the periodic table was given by a scientist called Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev. Mendeleev gave this classification in 1872. He was from Russia. So his classification, is the most advanced classification before the modern periodic table came into being. Understood? This is a photograph of Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev. Mendeleev said that the properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic masses. So, he took the concept that Newland put forth, a bit further. Newland had said that the properties of elements, depend on their atomic masses, but if you arrange the elements in the order of their atomic masses, then every eighth element has the same property as the first element. Mendeleev did not say that every eighth element has the same property as the first element. He, however, said if we arrange the elements in the order of their atomic masses, then after a certain number of elements, another element will have the same property as the first element. This may be the eighth element or this may not be the eighth element. At the time Mendeleev, proposed his theory, 63 elements were known. Mendeleev arranged these 63 elements in his own periodic table. His arrangement was based on two concepts. The first concept was that he arranged elements in order of their atomic masses, one after the other. Something like this, As the atomic masses increased, he kept placing the elements one after the other. The second concept was that he divided all these elements into 8 columns called groups. And he placed elements which had similar properties in the same group. Understood? This was what Newland had also done in his previous classification. But Mendeleev did not insist that after every 8 elements we'll get a new element. Understood? After every 7 elements, the 8th element will have the same property as the first element. He arranged elements in groups in such a way that elements placed one above the other had similar properties, and in general they were arranged in order of atomic mass. Understood? So he called the vertical columns groups. The elements in a group had similar chemical properties. So let me explain in detail what Mendeleev did. He arranged all the elements known in rows and columns. He called the columns groups, as I had just mentioned. He also called the rows periods. Understood? So here you can see 5 periods on your screen. The rows are called periods. In a period, the atomic weight increased as Mendeleev moved from left to right. Understood? So the element on the left would have a lesser atomic weight compared to the element on the right. So in a period, atomic weight increased as we moved from left to right. In a group, all the elements had the same chemical properties. So here you go. Mendeleev arranged 63 elements using these two principles. Along the periods, the atomic mass kept increasing, and along the groups, elements with similar properties were placed one over the other. Now I have said again and again, similar properties. But what kind of similar properties? Mendeleev made use of two properties when he talked about similar properties in a group or in a column. These properties were the formulae of oxides and the formulae of hydrides. All the members in the same group had the same formulae of oxides and the same formulae of hydrides. This was Mendeleev's periodic table. As you can see, it is a bit more complicated compared to the other periodic tables we had studied earlier. So you can see the horizontal rows are periods and all the vertical columns are groups. Take a look at this first group, group 1. It has hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium. Take a look at the second group. It has beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium and barium. So all of these elements have similar properties. Understood? And what properties? They form the same kind of oxides and the same kind of hydrides. You can see that lithium forms Li2O, sodium forms Na2O, Potassium forms K2O, so they have the same formula of oxides. Similarly, lithium forms LiH with hydrogen, sodium forms NaH, and potassium forms KH. Similarly, beryllium, magnesium, and calcium have the same formula for their oxide and their hydride. Beryllium forms BeO, Mg forms MgO, calcium forms CaO, and all of them form MgH2, CaH2, and BeH2 with hydrogen. Atoms in the same group formed the oxides and hydrides with similar formulae. Similarly, you can also see, in Mendeleev's periodic table that elements to the right of that as you move from left to right along the period, the atomic weight increases. The atomic weight of lithium, for example, is 6.9. That of beryllium is 9. That of boron is 10. And that of carbon is 12. So you can see that Mendeleev basically wrote down elements from left to right as the atomic weight increased. Then he would end that particular row, or he would end that particular period at the element which had the same property as the first element, same oxide formula and same hydride formula as the first element. So Mendeleev kept on writing elements. He wrote lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine here. But after fluorine, the next atomic weight was that of sodium. So he did not write sodium to the right of fluorine. He said sodium has the same properties as lithium. So he started another row from sodium onwards. Similarly here, after chlorine came potassium, K. But he did not write potassium after chlorine here. He said potassium has the same properties as sodium. So let me write it here, below sodium. Understood? So this is how Mendeleev arranged this periodic table. Of course, you don't have to remember the positions of all of these elements, but you have to remember two things. One, that from left to right, the rows are called periods, and in the rows, the atomic weights increase from left to right. The columns in Mendeleev's periodic table are called groups, and all the elements in the same group have the same formula of oxides and hydrides. These are the two important facts you must remember. So, what were the main advantages of Mendeleev's periodic table compared to other periodic tables, that had been coined by, say, Dobrynir or by Newlands? Let's look at the main advantages of Mendeleev's periodic table. The first major advantage of Mendeleev's periodic table was that he left spaces in his periodic table for elements that were not yet discovered. Take this element scandium here. Scandium Sc has this atomic weight 44.96. He placed scandium in the third group, in the third column that is, and in the fourth period. However, scandium had not yet been discovered. So he predicted that there must be an element here which has not yet been discovered, which has the same properties as boron, and he placed it in the same group as boron. He called scandium ekaboron. Later on, when scientists discovered scandium, they found out that scandium had exactly the same properties that Mendeleev had predicted. Gallium, Ga, was also not discovered, in 1872 when Mendeleev proposed his periodic table. But again, Mendeleev called gallium Eka-aluminium, as it had the same properties as aluminium, which is in the same group. So Mendeleev left spaces for undiscovered elements in his periodic table. He did not, somehow try to fit in all the discovered elements in his periodic table and formulate a certain law. He noticed what properties different elements had, and if there was one extra gap in his group, if there was no other element, for example, in the fourth period, which had the same properties as boron and aluminium, in that case he left a gap there. And he tried to predict the properties of these elements which had not yet been discovered. So this was a very interesting thing that Mendeleev did. Later, when new elements were discovered, people did not have to change the periodic table. They could simply put those elements in the spaces which Mendeleev left. Same was the case with germanium, Ge. Mendeleev called germanium Eka-silicon because it was in the same group as silicon, and he predicted that it should have the same properties that silicon has. Germanium was not discovered when Mendeleev coined the periodic table. However, it was discovered later and it was put in the exact position which Mendeleev, left behind for Eka silicon. So that was one amazing thing Mendeleev did. Mendeleev in fact even predicted the exact atomic weight and the density of gallium. Gallium has the atomic weight 69.7 and it has density 5.94. Mendeleev had predicted the atomic weight of gallium as 68, which is very near 69.7. He even predicted the density as 5.9 gram per centimeter cube. So Mendeleev was very accurate in predicting elements which had not yet been discovered. Another interesting thing about Mendeleev's periodic table was related to noble gases. During Mendeleev's time, the noble gases had not yet been discovered. You see, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon are called noble gases. They have 8 electrons in their valence shell and they hardly react with any other element in the periodic table. In fact, they don't naturally react with any element at all because their valence shells are complete. They were not discovered, at the time when Mendeleev coined his periodic table. However, the good fact is that the noble gases are all similar in their properties and they could easily be added to the right of the periodic table later when they were discovered. No extra change had to be made to the periodic table to accommodate noble gases. Just one extra group had to be added towards the right. Understood? So it was easy to accommodate noble gases later when they were discovered in Mendeleev's periodic table. Understood? So this was another advantage of Mendeleev's periodic table. No other elements needed to be disturbed. So these were two advantages of Mendeleev's periodic table. He was able to arrange all elements properly. He was able to predict elements which had not been discovered. But what were the problems? Why is our periodic table today different from the periodic table suggested by Mendeleev? The problem with Mendeleev's periodic table was that the position of isotopes could not be explained. Isotopes are substances which have the same atomic number but which have different atomic weights. For example, chlorine has two isotopes, chlorine 35 and chlorine 37. Chlorine 35 has the atomic weight 35 and chlorine 37 has the atomic weight 37. All elements similar to chlorine have different isotopes. The natural chlorine that we use, in our experiments is actually a mixture of the isotopes of chlorine. Understood? And it has an approximate atomic weight 35.5 because it is a mixture of chlorine 35 and chlorine 37. So how to accommodate isotopes in the periodic table? As in, if the atomic weight of a certain element has to be mentioned, whose atomic weight will you mention? Chlorine 35 or chlorine 37? Isn't it? So isotopes could not be explained in Mendeleev's periodic table. Another important fact that Mendeleev could not explain was cobalt and nickel. Cobalt was placed before nickel in Mendeleev's periodic table. However, cobalt has a higher atomic weight compared to nickel. So why should it be placed before nickel in Mendeleev's periodic table? Isn't it? After all, Mendeleev was arranging elements in the order of their atomic weights. But if cobalt was placed after nickel, then the groups that Mendeleev created became haphazard. So to maintain the fact that the same groups had the same properties of elements, cobalt had to be placed before nickel. There was a problem here. Why should cobalt be before nickel if its atomic weight is 58.93 greater than that of nickel? So this was a problem. Some elements were not placed in the order of increasing atomic weight. Yet another problem with Mendeleev's periodic table was the position of hydrogen. Hydrogen, reacts with halogens to form compounds, just like lithium, sodium, potassium and other elements in its group. Halogens is a combined name that we use for fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. So hydrogen reacts with fluorine, chlorine and bromine to form compounds just like sodium, lithium and potassium. So it can easily be placed in the first group. No problem with that. But hydrogen also reacts with alkali metals, to form compounds just as chlorine, fluorine and bromine do. Understood. So you see, the other alkali metals, they don't react amongst themselves, right? But hydrogen does. Hydrogen reacts with sodium and lithium to form hydrides. It also reacts with fluorine and chlorine to form compounds. So it has properties similar to fluorine, chlorine, bromine also. It has properties similar to lithium, sodium, potassium also. But it was placed in the first group. So that was another problem that Mendeleev could not explain. He could not explain the position of hydrogen. Should hydrogen be placed in the first group or the seventh group along with chlorine, chlorine and bromine? It showed properties of both first group elements and seventh group elements. So this was yet another problem with Mendeleev's periodic table. So these were the limitations of Mendeleev's periodic table. Of course, overall the contribution of Mendeleev, towards the classification of elements was quite huge. Had it not been for him, we would not have come up with the modern periodic table later on. So yes, we are all thankful for his classification despite his limitations. Before we move on to the modern periodic table and understand an even better way to classify elements, let's solve some problems related to Mendeleev's periodic table. Predict the formula of the oxides of rubidium, zirconium and molybdenum using Mendeleev's periodic table. Well, what do? Let's look at the positions of rubidium, zirconium and molybdenum. This is rubidium. Clearly, rubidium lies in the first group. This is zirconium. It lies in the fourth group. And this is molybdenum. It lies in the sixth group. Therefore, the formula for the oxide of rubidium will be Rb2O, because that is the formula for oxides of all elements present in the first group. The formula of oxides for all elements present in the fourth group is RO2. That is, the formula will be ZrO2 for zirconium. The formula of the oxide of molybdenum will clearly be MoO3. That's because this is the formula of oxides for all elements present in the sixth group. Understood? So based on the group, you can predict the formula of the oxides. Here's yet another problem. Mendeleev's periodic table had dash groups and dash periods. The groups had elements which formed dash and the periods had elements with dash. Well, quite a lot of blanks to fill. But this is quite a simple question. Mendeleev's periodic table had 8 groups and 7 periods. You must remember this. The groups had elements which formed oxides with the same formulae, and the periods had the elements with increasing atomic weights. There you go. We've answered this question. Here's another one. An element X has the atomic weight 19 and it forms the oxide X2O7. Can you identify it using Mendeleev's periodic table? Well, this question is a bit complicated, but let's try to solve it. So we are given an element which has an atomic weight 19 and we know that it forms the oxide X2O7. This is Mendeleev's periodic table. We can see that elements in the 7th group form the oxide R2O7 if R is the chemical symbol for the element and O is the chemical symbol for oxygen. So clearly, if this element forms an oxide X2O7, it must definitely be present in the 7th group. This element has the atomic weight 19. We can see that fluorine here has the atomic weight 18.998. Clearly, our element is fluorine, isn't it? It has the atomic weight 19 and it also forms an oxide X2O7 or F2O7. So that's our answer. Fluorine is the element that we are talking about. So you can see that crux of Mendeleev's periodic table is that atomic weights increase, along a period, and elements placed one above the other in groups have same formulae for oxides and hydrides. Understood? So that's that. So this was about Mendeleev's periodic table. Let's move on to the next chapter and study some more about modern method of classification of elements, the modern periodic table.